Welcome to the Hawks Talk podcast. All things Blackburn Hawks.
In behind the defence, cuts around, scores! Blackburn Hawks win this game 8 goals to 5.
All the latest news, player interviews and much more.
Shoots, scores!
Hawks Talk.
It is time for another episode of the Hawks Talk podcast. How are you all? I'm Graham Hamilton, your host, as we talk about all things Blackburn Hawks. First one of the season. Sorry it's taken so long in the making, but better late than never, and there is many more to come. First of all, I must say a massive congratulations to the Blackburn Hawks players, coaching staff and off-ice team on winning the M56 Cup with a game to spare. The first of the new era, and I'm sure there will be many more to come for the Hawks. As well, we must say congratulations to the Edinburgh Capitals on winning the Northern League. I think it's been a great competition. I think everyone will agree with that. And hopefully we can expand on it and win it next season. Moving on to this weekend, we have the Moral League Cup final against the Billingham Stars. It's going to be played over 2 legs. The first is at home this Saturday at Planet Ice Blackburn. Tickets are available now on the Hawks website. Get down early. It's going to be busy. And let's get behind the boys. The second leg is the following day on Sunday up in Billingham. At this point of recording, we are sitting third in the Morley League on 34 points, having played 26 games, won 17 and lost 9. We're at the business end of the season now, so every point matters. Now, before we jump into this episode's interview, if you haven't done already, go and follow the Blackburn Hawks on TikTok at official Blackburn Hawks. And we're also on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, at Blackburn Hawks. You can also find us on YouTube. Just search Hawks TV and make sure you subscribe for all the highlights packages, interviews, and much more. Well then, let's get into this episode's interview.
Hawks Talk.
Joining us on episode 13 of the Hawks Talk podcast, sponsored by SJ Developments, the Houdini of the Hawks, the magic man himself, Jacob Lutwyche. Jacob, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
No, good to have you on, mate. I think it's your second appearance on the podcast now.
Yeah, we did one last year. I can't remember. Someone else joined as well.
I think Lee Pollitt, I think.
Yeah, I think so. That rings a bell.
And also on this episode as a co-host, the voice of the nest, Aiden Wignall. How are you, buddy?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Only just the voice at the minute with this chest infection. But, going all right.
Good stuff. We'll start off then, as we normally do, talking about the most recent games. First of all, we have to talk about this one, the home fixture in the M56 Cup, which was a win against the Widnes Wild, 9-0, which saw us win that competition. Nice to win some silverware. How was that game for you, Jacob?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was great. It was basically just a second period game. If you look at the first and third period of 1-0 each, we just kind of took over, took control in the second. And then, from that point onwards, it was kind of, we've got this in the bag now. We can just have a bit of fun.
Yeah, I think in the first period, if we're honest, they were the better side, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they had a few more good chances in front of the net. But, if they score a few of them, the whole game changes, doesn't it? It would have been a different outcome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in the box, you get to see the shots on goal. There was a considerable difference, though. We still had 15 on theirs.
Yeah.
But to score, I mean, it's like this weekend, we made a habit of just scoring at the right time. Obviously Jacob scored, were they on the clock? I think there were about 42 seconds left in first period.
Yeah, not many.
Oh, I think there were about 42, weren't there? But I mean, when you come off that, I mean, what how's the changing room like? When you're going in, what's Dom sort of saying to you?
It's just we all get a bit more relaxed at that point because we know we can start having some fun with the game. There's no pressure at that point because coming back from 7 goals is pretty unheard of. And the way we were playing, we were kind of dominating them in that second period. So as long as we just didn't change anything, we knew we were going to have a good outcome. So, yeah, about as good as you can get in between periods, I think.
No, definitely.
So next up, we had the most recent game, which was away to the Whitley Warriors. Always a tough place to go. Aiden, you went to that game, didn't you? Do you want to tell us your thoughts on that one?
Well, on the game itself, do you know, we just couldn't seem to get the free flowing hockey playing that we were used to, and it just seemed scrappy in places. I mean, big kudos to Keds in there. He made some absolute awesome saves, and we just ground out what needed to be ground out up there. I mean, it's my first time up to, is it Holly Heads now? What the nickname is, my first time up there. It looked like going back to the 60s, something you'd see on these American movies. But the boys worked hard. It was more about work rate and just digging something out, and them taking their opportunities when they created something. I mean, again, you go on any of the Whitley pages, they're all like screaming over about Bowater, which again, he did have a good game, but we put him under pressure from either way. It was just one of them games. I think it could have swung either way. And them last 14 seconds, Bobby just went screaming up and let it rip into the top corner.
What about you, Jacob? How was that game for you?
I've always said this. I hate going to Whitley Bay because it's cold. It's a horrible rink to play in. But they always put up a good fight. The actual game itself is quite enjoyable. We know it's going to be a tough, close, physical game, and it's just what it is. Whenever you go there, that's what you get. You get battered and bruised, and yeah, in some ways, those are the most enjoyable games because you've earned it. You go to work on Monday all in pain, but you feel good because you come back out with the win.
He weren't any good for the heart though. At the end, I'd tell you that much. He weren't. The fingernails went. I even think Mr. Lomax had a tear in his eye when that last one went in. I'm almost sure of it.
So glad that last one went in. I was a bit tired for overtime.
Yeah, that's right. Glad we didn't take it that far then.
While we're talking about the most recent games, there's one game I want to talk about. Well, more goal than game. Against the Hull Jets earlier this month, I was doing the commentary along with Sean, and you received the puck at the blue line, and you seemed to glance up at the clock. And I don't know if anyone else saw it, but you glanced up at the clock, you took it past Hagger, I think, on their blue line, and you shot through the D and you beat the netminder block aside, I think.
Yeah, I remember looking back at the YouTube highlights, and yeah, you were spot on. Yeah, Lee Pollock kind of passed up the boards. I was skating up in the neutral zone, and I had a quick look up, and I thought, oh, right, yeah, 10 seconds, I'll just go and have a shot. Not much else we can really do. So, yeah, I went down, had a shot, and it went in. I was quite happy.
I just remember it was that glimpse. I just seen you look up, and I thought he's going to go for this, and he did. Perfect.
Yeah, nothing to lose with that little time to go.
Yeah, definitely. I think a couple of seasons ago, you had that face-off goal against Solihull, and you said something similar, like you were very tired and you just wanted to get off the ice. So you shot and it went in, didn't it?
Yeah, I was knackered. Knackered and fed up. I just wanted to go.
I get like that on a daily basis.
That one will always stick in my mind. That just scoring straight from face-off, it were unbelievable.
Yeah, well,
to see it, I've not seen it before, and I don't think I'll ever see it again unless you can pull it out on Saturday.
Yeah, I've tried it a few times. It hasn't worked the same way as that one time. Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's your challenge for Saturday, then, Jacob. Get it done.
Give it a try.
Imagine the scenes if he did, though. That'd be unreal.
Trust me.
Now, just going back to last season for a second, one thing that we seem to have improved on massively is secondary scoring, like with the addition of Barnes, Royds, and things like that. Do you think that's taken a little bit of pressure off you?
Yeah, I'm so glad that we got that second line. That second line is probably one of the best lines in the league. Having Barnes come down from National League, having Royds back up from, we call it retirement, and then a mixture of like Rids or Paul or whoever's in there on that line. It's great. It's nice. It's enjoyable to watch other lines scoring just as much. Yeah,
definitely. It's very productive, that second line. And Royds, I think, is it 3-4 years he's not played for?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm glad he's come back anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Along with him, what about Josh Crawley, another fan favourite this season? He's come in at the start of the season, and with the departure of Tate Shudra, he's been given first line minutes. He's been on the power play, and I think he's produced around 18 points in the league. What's it been like playing on the line with him?
I like Josh, and I'm excited to see where he goes. He's dead young, but he's got that kind of fight in him. Like, he'll hold himself against players much bigger than him, and he's skillful enough. I can see him going quite far with hockey. Yeah, I'm glad to just be a part of his development. To be honest, I know he'll probably go off to the National League in a few years.
Yeah, definitely. I think the size of him, you just don't expect the way he bumps off hits and things like that. And he also lays the body on himself. Reminds me a little bit of like a young Ollie Lomax. Stature of a mouse, heart of a lion. He just doesn't give up either.
Yeah, I don't remember Ollie. It's a bit older than him.
I forget how young you are sometimes, Jacob.
Now, just going back to what you're saying about Josh there and the big hits. I mean, there were obviously that game at Widnes. I'll just say when we won 5-0. I seen him hit one of the biggest lads on the ice. You know, he actually took him right up against the thing. The ref blew for that. He's called Sam Anderson. The ref, he blew him for boarding on that. And this guy was like twice the size of Josh. You know, but Jacob as well, same with yourself. I've noticed like you brought a bit of physicality into your game a bit this year as well. You know, is that a case of like, you know, you're giving it back a little bit now?
Not really sure, to be honest. I think I'm just more angry than I was last year. I don't know what's happened. Just more angry, and then
You seem to have perfect timing, like particularly like when you've laid hits like in open ice, like sort of in the neutral zone. You seem to just have that hockey IQ, and your timing's perfect.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what it is. It's being able to skate and change edges and balance yourself properly to either take or give a hit makes such a massive difference. Because if me and you are coming at each other, and I'm more well positioned than you are with my skates and my blades all in the right place, I can almost guarantee you'll come off worse than I will, just because of how I've set myself before going into that hit.
Yeah.
I don't really know how else to say it, because I'm not a heavy guy, especially compared to like some of the other guys that are playing in this league. I'm not a heavy guy, but I am a good skater, so it has to be that.
I think like I said, it comes down to a timing and your IQ of it, doesn't it? And I think you said on the previous podcast that you thought it was more valuable to be a better skater when you're learning the sport than like practicing with the stick all the time. Because I think you said something along the lines of, if you're a better skater, you can literally skate around people, and I suppose that adds to your physical game as well, in both preparing for a hit and making a hit.
Yeah, skating's everything, isn't it? It's like trying to play football and you can't run. It just doesn't work. No matter how good you are at dribbling, you can't run. You can't play the game.
No.
That's why I play FIFA.
Yeah. Although saying that, Messi does actually walk 3 miles a game. Do you know that?
Really?
Yeah, he walks 3 miles a game. Sorry, useless information there, but yeah, he walks, and that's how he finds his space to run into.
If it comes up in a pub quiz, we know the answer now.
Oh yeah, you'll sleep better tonight for that one.
Now, this season, we've taken part in the newly formed Northern League, featuring ourselves, the Kirkcaldy Kestrels, Edinburgh Capitals, and Kilmarnock Thunder. How have you found that competition, Jacob, and in particular playing against teams that you might not have necessarily played against?
It gives a bit of a variety. That's for sure. They play a little bit differently than we do down here. They're a bit more physical. Very good skaters, though, the Scottish. I'll give them that. Yeah, it's just a bit of variety. It kind of makes things a bit more interesting. I do not enjoy the drives up there, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they're long, aren't they?
Yeah.
I went to Kilmarnock and Edinburgh. They were both long.
Yeah, they're very long. I'll probably fly next time.
Did you play Kilmarnock, Jacob?
Is that the one with the square rink?
Yeah. That's the strangest rink I've ever been to.
Yeah, that was quite a fun game, actually. One in a shootout.
Yeah. That way yours, weren't it?
Yeah.
I think you scored it shootout yourself.
Yeah. No video of that though.
They didn't have anything in that arena though, man. There were no sound system. There were no announcer or anything. I think they only just managed to get the ice cut as well. I think.
I don't think they had corners, did they?
Yeah, we were literally corners, mate. There's an handball, he couldn't even. It was like Olaf was stood there waiting.
Didn't they have the corners were like raised up?
Yeah. Yeah, the plexiglass was actually meeting at a right angle, and the board circled round, so you could actually just sit on that bit there.
Did the puck get stuck up there a lot, Jacob, on them corners then?
I think it did once or twice. I don't know how it didn't manage to get up there. I thought it'd be up there more, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems really awkward.
But Edinburgh had a bit of character to it. That were like an old school rink as well.
Yeah, I've heard Edinburgh's actually really nice.
Yeah, we're nice, right? We're at Murrayfield, I've not seen anything like it before. But we're all right. We're nice atmosphere. There were nice people as well to get on with.
Yeah.
So,
I think the seats are like a listed thing, aren't they? Where they can't remove the seats, can they, or something? They can't change them, and they're really old and like rickety. I think it's the best way to describe them. It's a while since I've been, but I have been up there.
You could tell they were made for smaller people. Them chairs, though, buddy.
A seat per cheek.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now, Jacob, it's your third season with the Hawks, and each season there's been areas of improvement in terms of like league position finishes, the amount of goals and things like that. How have you found the journey so far with the Hawks?
It's lined up pretty perfectly with what Dom set out to do when he came in. That's the only thing I can really say. We knew that the first season wasn't going to be as good as this season because we were doing this to develop the younger players, and we're kind of reaping the rewards now. We've got younger players who are stepping up, playing a more full-time role, and producing. So, what more can you ask from going from a kind of bottom half league team to almost right at the top, chasing some silverware?
Definitely. If you had to pick some players that you think are the most improved in that time, who would you say?
Most improved? I've got two, Watson and Ben McClellan.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Ben's come on so much now. It's so easy to see as well. And Watson has been impressing me a lot lately. He's definitely been practicing some stick handling at home or doing something. Yeah.
Yeah, there was an assist, wasn't there, a couple of games ago? I can't remember who it was, and he deked it round a player, and I think he passed it to Royds, I think it was. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah. Well, against Wignall, he pulled it through his legs and then backhanded it into the net. And that's just, yeah.
Who does he think he is?
I missed that one.
Yeah. Well, keep going. He needs to keep going.
I think there was a turning point in Luke's season where he'd been struggling for a goal, and I can't remember who it was against, but he scored at Blackburn. And ever since then, he just seems to have gone from strength to strength.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I won't be able to tell you off the top of my head.
He seems like a bit of a leader in the dressing room as well. Sometimes he's quite vocal on the bench as well, I've heard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard not to look up to him, is it?
He got a big tree skating around.
Oh, he's a big lad.
7 foot on skates, I think.
How do you find a hockey stick big enough? Is it just like using a tree with a bit on end or something? Is that how it's cut?
I don't actually think he uses a very long stick.
No.
I think he uses like a regular size stick, yeah.
You'd think you'd have to put an extender on the end of it or something just because of the height of him.
Yeah, most of the tall players I know do, but if he doesn't like it, then he doesn't like it. He doesn't have to.
Yeah. And just going back to Ben as well, yeah, I'd agree with that. I think he's easily one of the most improved this season.
Yeah.
Definitely. What do you think about Ben, Aiden?
Ben, yeah, definitely. He has come on leaps and bounds. He's like, to me, he's one of the all-round defenders. He's strong. He gives us that little bit of fight that we seem to be lacking over the last 2 seasons. I mean, once we lost like Callum, to Widnes and a couple of other ones that brought a bit of the physicality to the play. it was sort of like our players were getting bashed around, especially like when you played Solihull or Widnes. When you saw them 2 games, the lads just felt like they were getting bashed around with no protection really. Unfortunately, Tev last year had to leave due to personal reasons, and he seems to be the only one that had given him a little bit. But this year we seem to have got, Ben's brought a bit of fight, Bobby's brought a bit of fight. Like I said with Jacob as well, Jacob brings a little bit more physicality, and it's nice to have Callum back. And also, I've just been a little whispering here, Mr. Ronnie Grimes, the showreel himself. So he's on there too. So, we seem to have that nice mix now where we've got skill, physicality, and every single one of them lads, especially after Sunday night, they've all got the fight in them. They've got that bit between the teeth now. They want to win. They want, they want the points. They want the goals. And I think Sunday, even though a scrappy game it was, is one of the best games I've watched.
As a skillful player, Jacob, is it frustrating sometimes if you get hit that there's no response from other players?
No, I don't care. Some people probably do, but to me, I deserve to get hit just as much as everyone else. So I don't expect someone to stick up for me just because I get hit or just because I'm a goal scorer.
Yeah.
It seems like that part of the game that it's something you expect every now and then just to take them hits.
Yeah.
As much as it is for you to score goals and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not. I don't mind getting hit. It doesn't really hurt. I'd find it weird if they didn't try and hit me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would get annoyed if someone ran Josh Crawley from behind. There's a bit of a difference. Like I'm 22 now. I'm kind of big enough to defend for myself if I do actually feel like something's unfair. But picking on like a smaller kid, someone in a cage, with like a dirty hit, I think that does deserve some kind of retaliation.
Yeah.
Now looking at the league table and on the NIHL stats website, shout out to him. If it was the first round of the playoffs today, we would face the Hull Jets. If you could pick a team to play against right now in that first round, who would you fancy playing against?
If I could pick a team now to play, I mean, we want to try and get to second, and then if we get to second, we probably play Widnes, I believe.
Yeah, as it stands currently, yeah.
I wouldn't mind playing Widnes. I'd probably prefer to play Widnes over Hull, just because it's close. Yeah, I'll go with Widnes because they're close.
Yeah.
Not a lot of travel. Yeah, go Widnes.
I think as well, Hull, they've made it really difficult in their barn this year as well. I think they've made it a bit of a fortress at times, so I think I'd rather play Widnes in that as well.
Yeah.
What about you, Aiden?
Looking at performances this year, then I'd take Widnes and Nottingham, I think, but like Jacob said, but we took the game to Hull. We did there what not many teams have been able to do, and we won quite convincingly as well. I think two of their 3 goals come from stupid defensive mistakes. So we can hold our own against anyone really in that league. I think. I think there's only really Billingham that we struggle against.
Yeah.
And to be honest, when Brown were at our place, he played his socks off. That 2-1 should have been at least possibly 2 or 3 to us.
Yeah, he had a superb game, didn't he?
Their netminder played out his skin.
What do you think about Solway making that step up into the national? Do you think it's benefited the league?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last year they were kind of in a league of their own. There's so many players on 2As. I think they had a lot on with the Belfast Giants, maybe.
Yeah, with the Giants and the Clan, yeah.
McBean with one, wasn't it?
I know. I was on a 2A with Manchester, and some would say it's a little bit unfair, but to have like 5 or 6 players on 2As, they probably deserve to be in the National League.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think they're doing all right as well, aren't they?
Yeah, 9th, I think.
third from bottom.
Yeah, so that's already better than they should be doing.
Yeah, when you look at new teams like Bristol last season and where they are and stuff.
Yeah.
We go with the nickname the Magic Man, and I'm sure it was me that coined him as that when I was doing the announcing last season. So Cherry's just asked, does he like the nickname the Magic Man?
Do I like it? I think Datsuk was called the Magic Man.
I think he was. Yeah.
What's that?
I think Datsuk was called the Magic Man.
Who's Datsuk? Give me education.
Pavel Datsuk.
An old Red Wings player.
Pavel Datsuk, yeah. I would Google him. He was a good player. Yeah.
All right, okay. I'll have a look. So there you go then. I mean, when like I say, when we do watch and you do skate, you just look like you're just skating on a cloud of, just skating on a cloud. You look like you're enjoying yourself, and it's so smooth and that, it just seems to be different from all the other players when you're skating.
Effortless.
Yeah, literally.
It'll just be the figure skating background.
One thing I've noticed, particularly with you and Barnesy and a couple of others as well, is when you shoot the puck, it doesn't move. It just flies. It's hard to describe audibly, but
it wobble.
It literally just zings and goes straight and doesn't move.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess if you get enough spin on it, it kind of levels itself out. Like a what they call the centrifugal force. What they called gyroscopes.
Yeah.
If it spins fast enough, it kind of levels itself out.
It's just something I've noticed that it seems to be players that have played sort of elite league and national league, when they shoot the puck, it just seems to go a little bit better.
Probably flicking your wrists a bit more, getting that more spin on the puck. I'm not really sure. When I look at kids playing, brand new kids, they try and flick the puck, but they don't spin it at all. They just try and lift it.
Yeah.
Whereas the power and the accuracy, it really comes from your wrists and that last little flick.
Oh, okay. So we'll go for some sort of cheesy questions, if you will. Do you have any superstitions?
You mean with hockey?
Yeah. Or in general?
I think superstitions. I've got all the obvious ones, like don't walk under a ladder, don't break a mirror. I try not to do them on game days. What else have I got? I don't know if this is a superstition, but I can't have any kind of caffeine close to bed, like Coke or anything like that with a meal. I'll just be up all night. I don't really think so with hockey. It doesn't really bother me. I can put my kit on left or right first. Yeah, it's a bit of a boring answer, but I just don't really have anything.
No, mine were right football boot. When I was playing football, I always had to put my right football boots on first.
Yeah, I'm not bothered. Whichever one comes into my hands first goes on.
Is there a reason behind the jersey number?
So I used to be 73. That's what I was growing up all the time. And when you go to GB or do England and stuff like that, they only really have jersey numbers up to 30. So then I had to go and pick something that was closer. And then I think the next number I picked was 7. And then at one point, 7 wasn't available, so I had to take 20. And then when I got to Storm, 73 and 7 were both taken. So then 20 kind of just stuck.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I'm probably more of a 73, but I quite like 20 now.
I think your brother Alex wore 73, didn't he, when he played for us?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Where does that number come from?
No idea, Yeah, I really have no idea. 73. Yeah, got no idea. I think it might have been the only number available or something on one of the old Bradford shirts when I was joining. Not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure.
In fact, I will have one question, and it's just going to be sad, geeky DJ related. But what's playing on Jacob's Spotify at the minute?
Jump to have a look.
Oh, go on.
Let's have a look. I've got a few different ones, so I'll give you a few. Depends what kind of mood I'm in. If I'm chilling out, it's some French music.
Oui.
Yeah, banger.
Oh, okay.
Or if I'm getting ready for a game or something like that, it's a bit more Yeah.
Bit of deep tech house.
Yeah, although I've been into this artist recently. You'll probably they have so many famous songs I didn't know who they were. Do you know it?
I have heard it before.
No.
Yeah, that's jungle. Quite like that stuff.
Ah, yeah.
That's down your street.
I
That.
thought you'd have been into like lo-fi or something like that.
That's about as lo-fi as I'll go. It's quite chilled out. Yeah, I quite like the harder stuff as well.
Love a bit of EDM.
Fair enough.
Makes me work faster.
So going on then to this weekend, we've got the Moral League Cup final against the Billingham Stars. What are you expecting from that game, Jacob? Are you looking forward to it?
I hope it's going to be like the last game that we played against them. Tight game, and then same again on the Sunday. That'd be nice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Aiden? Got any predictions?
I had a dream the other night, so I'm not mentioning anything. It wasn't good. Basically, he said Billingham 4-1. So I don't know. I mean, ideally, I think we watched Solly. Solly have turned them over this last week, and Hull held them on their own rink as well. So they're there to be shot at. That's the thing about someone up at the top of the league. They're there to be shot at. So, and I think there's more pressure on Billingham than there is on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, if we can play the type of hockey we know we can play, hopefully we'll have a strong roster out. Hopefully Josh is back. Charles hopefully will be there. I don't know when else comes back from New York, but hopefully if he's back and not too jet lagged, we'll have near to a full roster out.
I think Aaron misses Saturday, I think.
Right.
I mean, for me, you should have got an earlier flight back. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying on it. You should have got Grat.
I'll let you argue with Jen about that
one. Grat should have chucked in for an extra plane ticket to get him back earlier.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but it's anybody's game. It's cup hockey, isn't it? It's like cup football. It can go anywhere. We've got 2 legs to fight it over, and if we can keep it close at Blackburn, then we can just go all out when we're up on the forum up there. So,
I mean, I'd rather smash them at Blackburn and then make some easy, but
There you go, then, mate. There you go. You're the forward guy. It's up to you now, Jacob.
Right, we'll do that then. Okay,
we'll go that way. So,
I think anything's possible with how much Hawks have improved.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we can beat them at Blackburn. I'm confident.
Yeah.
Get the crowd roaring.
Definitely. So
perfect. So one last question then before we go. What aims have you got for the remainder of the season?
Oh yeah, let's win it. Yeah.
I
don't really care about my own points, or I don't have any goals like that. I'd just like to do well. We've got the M56 Cup now. If we can win this, I don't even know what it's called. The thing we're playing against Billingham.
Is it Moral League Cup?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, we can win that as well. That'd be nice. And then I don't think we're in a place to win the league position.
Second.
Yeah, we can make second.
If you look at the running, I mean, Solihull seem to have the harder running than us. I mean, I know hockey's not played on paper, but
yeah, they definitely got a harder. They definitely got a harder end to the season than we
did. Yeah. So I could only see that one possible banana skin, and that's playing Solihull at end of season last game.
No, that'll be fine. We've been there before.
It could be the proverbial 4-pointer.
Yeah, we've been there before.
Yeah.
Jacob loves a goal against Solihull.
Yeah, I don't mind. I quite like playing them. They used to be awful to play against because they were just so physical, and especially there as well, where they got the netting.
Yeah.
You get hit to the boards, and your helmet gets caught on the netting, and you kind of clothesline yourself. It's not very nice. But
I brought my away day virginity there.
Yeah.
That was my first ever away day.
Nice.
What a delight.
I won't mention score.
Solihull was where I scored my first goal in a game.
Well,
Ever.
In juniors. Yeah, in juniors.
That's why he loves a goal against Solihull. There you go.
There we go. It's his favourite rink.
Yeah.
So, all good.
Brilliant. Thank you for joining us then, Jacob, and best of luck at the weekend and for the remainder of the season.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hawks Talk.
Really enjoyed that one. A great chat there with the magic man himself, Jacob Lutwyche, along with this episode's co-host, Aiden Wignall. Thank you guys for coming on the podcast. Also got to give a big shout out to SJ Developments as well for sponsoring Jacob this season. Just a final reminder to get your tickets now for the home leg of the Morley Cup final this weekend against the Billingham Stars. They're on pre-sale now on the Hawks website. It's going to be busy, so get those tickets, get down early and bring the noise for the Hawks. And finally, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Hawks Talk podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on whichever platform you're listening to us on. We want to get you, the Hawks fans, involved as much as possible with the podcast. So if you've got any ideas, suggestions, or you want to come on as a co-host, just send me an email, hawkstalk@blackburnhawks.com. Well, that's all we've got time for on this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Hawks Talk.